Jesus put it this way in Matthew chapter 6. If you want to flip over there, Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 7, Matthew chapter 7. Verse 24, Jesus said, "Everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock." Now, we saw as we read through and studied through the Gospel of John that Jesus' words that he spoke, they weren't just his own words. Over and over again, he said, "My words are not my own. I'm speaking the words that the Father has told me to speak. I only speak what God has told me to speak. I only say what God has told me to say." How many of you would like to be able to say that? And, we're the other way around. We're like 1% maybe what God says and 99% what we want, our emotions, our flesh. Jesus, 100% of his words were the words of the Father. And so when Jesus here says, "Whoever hears these words of mine," he's saying, whoever hears the word of God and does it will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house. But it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. God said to me, the blessing you're experiencing is the multiplication of the generations who have founded their life on the rock of the Word of God. Jesus goes on to speak, and he says, "Whoever hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." So the question for us and the question for you is this: what are you building your house on? What are you building your life on? Is it the Word of God? Are you being like this wise man who studies the Word, who opens the Word, who submits his life like Mary to the Word of God? Or you're like the foolish man who hears the Word but doesn't do it? Now, I find it interesting that Jesus doesn't say, "He who builds his house on the rock will never have any problems." Or, "He who builds his house on the rock will have a perfect life." That's not what Jesus said. Jesus said, when the storms come, your house will stand. When the storms come, your life will not come crumbling down if you have built it on the Word of God. We used to sing this song, "On Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand." There is no other foundation that you can build your life upon that will stand the storms of this life other than Jesus Christ and the Word of God. That's it. That's it, my friends. My family has been through storms. The promise is not that you won't experience storms. The promise is that if you build your house on the rock, when the storm comes, what you have built will stand the test of time. that you'll be able to weather the storm.